Afternoon. Hello, everybody. How are things going?
It's going fantastic.
Good, good. Yeah. Busy?
Oh, yes, always.
Yeah, I know. We've got the best.
It's no wonder Anita Vandenbeld sounds so chipper. After finishing second in the last election, she has good reason to be confident about winning back Ottawa West Nepean for the Liberals.
Hey, guys.
The Calgary native used to work in the Liberal Caucus Research Bureau. She's also worked for the UN and other international organizations in Africa, Asia, and the Balkans, promoting human rights, good governance, and fair elections. Now she hopes to be an MP.
People are looking for change, and we need to start investing in Canadians and getting jobs for those young people, looking after seniors, looking after families with children, and start listening to each other again. And I've been in this community listening, and I know that we need a politics not of division but of hope.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, how are you? Abdul Abdi, very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
How are you doing, ma'am?
Fine, thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Conservative candidate Abdul Abdi does the rounds at a retirement home looking for help to hang on to the seat held by former cabinet minister John Baird before he left politics. The Somalian-born Muslim moved to Canada 26 years ago. He's a police officer who's on a leave of absence to carry the Conservative flag.
Well, Canadians are going to be interested in a low tax plan, a balanced budget. I'm going to be standing up for seniors and families and making sure that Ottawa West Nepean remains to be one of the safest communities to live and raise family. And that's why people are going to vote for me October 19th.
Hi there, I'm Marlene Riviere. We're just handing out some literature for the election. Thank you.
This is Marlene Riviere's fifth attempt to win the riding for the New Democrats. She's a psychotherapist and longtime activist, serving as president of the local union that she helped to organize. Well, the Liberal here seems to be the first choice of the anti-conservative movement. She's urging voters to go orange.
Don't be duped by the polls. You know, vote your heart, vote your mind. This is your chance to change Canada, to get us back on track, to reduce inequality, which has been growing under successive Conservative and Liberal governments. This is your chance to make the kind of change that will make a difference in your life on a day-to-day basis.
Ottawa West Nepean is a long-established suburb of the national capital, home to about 110,000 people. Close to 20% of them are public servants, and many commute to jobs downtown or across the river in Quebec along the Queensway, the highway that cuts through the riding. High-tech giant Nortel was headquartered here before it went bankrupt. Its old campus is now being taken over by the government, likely for the Department of National Defense. The riding's northern border along the Ottawa River is dotted with marinas and parks and expensive homes, but the economic landscape isn't just waterfront views. There's public housing, too, and a large number of retirement homes. 12% of residents are seniors. The average family income is about $100,000, just around the national average. It's ethnically diverse as well. 30% are visible minorities, including a Muslim community of about 9,000. Don Butler covers the riding for the Ottawa Citizen.
It's very diverse. There's a large senior population, one of the largest ones in the country. There's also about 27-28% new Canadians, immigrants. And there's wealthy people, and there's a fair number of poor people. There's a number of public housing projects, for example, in this riding.
And a lot of civil servants.
Definitely a lot of civil servants, and I think in this election that has a real impact, because the civil servants, for the most part, are not hugely supportive of the Conservative government, if I may put it that way, and I think they're starting to mobilize and move to one of the other two parties.
Ottawa West Nepean has been contested in 6 federal elections, and each time the winning party here has also formed the government. The Liberals took the first 3 in a row, then John Baird scored a hat-trick of his own for the Conservatives. But Baird resigned from politics last February. He now works for a law firm in Toronto. and his aspiring successor is facing a strong anybody-but-conservative movement in the riding. When the election started, it was shaping up as a tight blue-red race, but polls now suggest the Liberals have opened up a double-digit lead.
Hello, how are you? Nice to see you.
Very, very much. This is my husband, Don.
Hello, Don.
Yes.
How are you?
Thank you for coming. I
My
appreciate it
pleasure.
very, very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Just a few days before the vote, Anita Vandenbeld gets a high-profile boost. Former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien lending his star power to try to seal the deal.
I'm very happy to come and make speeches to have a new Liberal government with liberal values.
Woo!
Anita was there in Calgary to introduce me in 1993. I'm here to introduce her as the next member of Parliament of this riding.
So, Anita, you ran last time,
I did,
didn't win. What's the difference this time?
There's a lot more energy. There's a tremendous amount of support and a tremendous amount of desire for change. What I'm finding is when I get to the doors, people are saying that this isn't the Conservative Party that they knew. And a lot of people are tired of the divisive politics of Harper, and they're looking for something to vote for. And this is something that I've always done. I've always been able to bring people together. I've always been somebody who is not, I don't believe in an idea being shot down just because it comes from another political party. We need to listen to each other. We need to dialogue. This is what, when I worked internationally, this is the kind of thing that Canadians are teaching in Africa, when I worked in Congo, in Bangladesh, in Kosovo. It's about opening up democracy so that the other voices can come in and having respectful debate. And here it's become so partisan. We have not had a unanimous committee report in the Canadian Parliament since Harper came in.
When the election started, this riding was seen as a neck-and-neck race between Liberals and Conservatives. Local polls, albeit with small samples, now suggest that you've taken a big lead. What broke the logjam?
I don't think there was a logjam. I felt this from the beginning. Last campaign, I got 32% of the vote, which for a non-incumbent Liberal in the country was the second highest. So we've always held a certain base here, and over the years, I've never actually felt that it's always been there. And even at the beginning of this campaign, I mean, the volunteers were coming forward. The people have been very excited about it. I've actually felt very positive for a number of months now. We started door knocking in February, and from day one, I have felt the positivity. I think that it's now starting to show. It's starting to show in the polls.
Another sign of the wind in Liberal sails, on Thanksgiving Day, Justin Trudeau came to Nepean, making a pitch to soft Conservatives, old progressive Conservatives, to vote Liberal.
Good morning! We don't need to convince them to leave the Conservative Party. We just need to show them how Stephen Harper's party has left them.
I think he's expressing something that a lot of people are already feeling. I mean, even a couple of months ago, David Dobney, who was the former progressive conservative member of Parliament in this riding, put my sign on his lawn. And so I think that what he's reassuring people who have not voted Liberal, who have traditionally voted Conservative, reassuring them that they have a home in the Liberal Party.
Mo Royer also defected because of his unhappiness with Stephen Harper.
I've never seen a government being so nasty. In fact,
He ran twice for the Progressive Conservatives under Joe Clark, and he has voted for Harper, but he switched to the Liberals last winter and says others are following.
absolutely. I've been going knocking on doors with Anita since February, and people are coming to me and saying, Mo, what made you change? And I mentioned it to them, and they said, I agree with you. This is not the party that progressive conservative that we once were. And I said, well, I'll tell you, if you want to make a difference for Canada, vote Liberal. Don't vote for this party.
So you've got big shoes to fill. You're not quite as well known as John Baird was.
Size 11 to be exact. I can get there. And you're right, challenge, but if it was easy, it would be boring.
Yeah. You're a policeman. You're also a Muslim. Why did you decide to run for the Conservative Party?
Well, the Conservative Party is a party that shares a lot of my values, regardless of what religion you are or what profession. It's the values of making sure that our communities are safe, making sure that we have a low plant tax, which I absolutely support, standing up for families and seniors, and making sure that our country here at home and abroad is also protected. Those are values that are important to any given conservative individual, and regardless of religion or profession, that's why I decided to run with the Conservative Party.
Justin Trudeau was here recently, and he was appealing to soft conservatives, progressive conservatives who say, you know, the Harper party has abandoned them. What impact is that having?
It's not going to have any impact on me, because at the end of the day, you can make all the requests that you want, but when it comes to the plans, those are the contrasts. See, Canadians can see through the fog when it comes to what the opposition, in this case the Liberals, are offering, as opposed to us. We have a principled low tax plan with a balanced budget, with a strong Prime Minister. That is the stability, that's the signature of any successful country, and this is what we have right now. On the other hand, they're proposing reckless spending with deficits, and Canadians know that when it comes to deficits, they just cannot afford Justin Trudeau and his plan. And when I'm at the doors and what I'm hearing people are telling me is that they support safe streets, they support lower tax, and they support a principled, strong leader such as our Prime Minister. So that's what I'm hearing at the door.
As for John Baird, he showed up to help a Conservative candidate in Toronto earlier in the campaign, but his role in his old riding has been more muted. Baird sent letters to his former constituents urging them to vote for Abdul Abdi, and he was the star attraction at a private $500 a person fundraiser for Abdi at this Ottawa home. But Baird turned down two separate opportunities during the campaign to speak to us on camera about his would-be successor.
Well, behind the scenes, Abdi insists that there's been a lot of support, that John Baird is in touch with him and is very aware of what's going on in the campaign and is very strongly supportive, and Baird has said that as well. He's put out letters expressing his endorsement of Abdi. But the strange thing is he hasn't been a visible presence in the campaign at all. He hasn't in any way gone door to door or appeared on a public platform with Mr. Abdi throughout this campaign. And you might have expected that in a campaign in his old riding, he would lend that kind of support to his would-be successor. It just hasn't happened.
Why is it about Muslim?
Abdi is also on the defensive over accusations that his party is playing wedge politics at the expense of Muslims. Your rivals say Conservatives are using wedge politics on a lot of issues that involve the Muslim community, women who want to wear the niqab, this a bill to strip Canadian citizenship from dual citizens who are convicted of terrorism. Is that hurting you in the Muslim community here?
No, it's not. I can tell you, being a Muslim and conservative, the first Prime Minister ever to hold an iftar dinner at 24 Sussex was Prime Minister Stephen Harper. That tells you the respect that the Prime Minister has for the community. In regards to all the other issues of fear, in fact, it is the Liberals who are going to, whether it's Muslim communities or other immigrant communities, and spreading these stories that the Conservatives don't like you or Conservatives have issue with you. If they believed that this is what's happening and that this is a very toxic environment, does it give them any reason to throw more fuel into it? And the only reason why they're doing that is because they know they can get mileage by doing that. And it's sad. It's a sad state. And the same party that is going to try to say that we are very inspiring and we are positive is the same party that goes into community halls and events and starts talking about fear. They're the ones who are spreading the fear, in fact. I can tell you as a Muslim, I do not have any issue or have never seen anything that the Prime Minister has said or the Conservative Party has said that has made me or the Muslims that I know uncomfortable.
Well, it's the politics of fear. It's the politics of division. It's saying, it's analyzing the population and saying, we believe these people will vote for us and these people won't, and therefore we'll make these people afraid of these people. And it's not what leaders do. What leaders do is find the commonalities. Leaders unite people. And this kind of politics where you're picking an issue, I mean, honestly, if Stephen Harper was that concerned about the oppression of women that he claims to be when he talks about the niqab, why is he doing nothing about 1,200 murdered and missing Aboriginal women? This, to me, it's a way to distract from the real issues of the campaign and to play to the worst in people. It's playing to the fear.
We call this dog whistle politics, and I would go a step further and say that it has released the racist hounds. When we have women who are simply walking in the street with a hijab or a niqab on, and they're going perhaps to shop with their children or to pick up their children from school, and people feel that they have a right to attack them, to assault them, to verbally assault them, I'm sorry, but that is not the kind of Canada I want to live in. We cannot allow such dangerous things to be happening. We cannot feed that fear of the other, which Mr. Harper seems to be quite content to do.
Marlene, you've run here 4 times unsuccessfully, but last time you got the NDP to almost 20%, a record in this riding.
Yep.
What's your target this time?
Winning. We feel that we have, in fact, built the base we need to win this riding. And the response of the public in this campaign has been unprecedented in terms of the numbers of sign requests we've had, the volunteers coming forward, and frankly, donations as well. So we know we're in a whole new league. The seat is open. We don't have any high-profile candidates. And so we really do think that it is, as the Hill Times said, a level playing field and a 3-party race. So
well,
we're very optimistic.
When the election started, it was seen as a 3-party race, and the NDP and the Liberals were jockeying to see who would be the vehicle for change. The polls would suggest that in this riding, the change vote has coalesced around the Liberal candidate.
Well, the polling that has been done was actually conducted before our campaign was in gear. And so I don't personally think it's very reliable. But what it did show that even before we started campaigning that we had held our 20% base. So it's very encouraging to us. And we've been in communities where we have clearly changed them, certainly from red to orange. And we have quite a few blue voters coming our way. The other day my neighbor said, the last day of advanced polling, waved at me and said, you know I'm true blue, Marlene, but I'm on my way to vote for you. And so there's a change taking place in the riding for sure.
The coattails aren't quite as long as they were at the start of the campaign when the NDP was ahead in the polls. NDPs slipped back nationally. The Liberals seem to have surged ahead. Is that hurting your campaign?
Well, you know, the NDP were up quite high earlier in the campaign. I don't think the Liberals folded their tent, and we're not about to fold ours. A lot can happen between now and October 19th. Certainly no one predicted that we would form the official opposition in the last election. We tend to surge very close to Election Day, so I really don't have any concerns.
The Green candidate, Mark Brooks, teaches environmental studies at Algonquin College. Mark, why'd you decide to run for the Greens?
Well, to be honest, I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I'm a little concerned about the world that we're leaving for our children and our grandchildren. I'm very concerned about issues such as climate change, such as creating a sustainable economy, a clean energy economy. And, you know, I think we're going in the wrong direction. And I think the Green Party had the platform that best addresses the challenges that we need to be dealing with for our future.
This riding has never been very green-friendly. What are you hoping to accomplish in Ottawa West Nepean?
Well, we're hoping to, you know, improve on our vote, of course, and win the riding. That would be the ultimate objective. But we're also realistic about it, you know, and we want to get Green Party ideas out there. We want to communicate with voters, let people know about our platform, let people know that it's not just a one-issue party. It's not just a one-person party. In our leader, Elizabeth May, we have candidates right across the country, very strong and accomplished candidates. We're talking about building a renewable energy economy, a truly green, sustainable economy that's prosperous and provides good long-term jobs for people.
There's a very strong anybody but conservative movement in this riding. This week there was a full-page ad in the Globe and Mail urging strategic voting, in particular asking Elizabeth May and her candidates not to be political spoilers. How is that affecting your campaign?
Well, I'm hearing that I'm hearing that on the ground. There's no doubt about it. When I go door to door, people tell me they love the Green Party. They think there needs to be more Green MPs in government. They think that they like our ideas, and but they're really fed up with this current government, and I understand that sentiment. So there is a strong mood out there for change, and people are telling me that they would love to vote Green, but in this particular election, they're going to support the candidate who they think has the best chance of winning. And it's unfortunate, but that is that's a result of our electoral system, which punishes smaller parties such as the Greens, and it's a winner-take-all system. And we really need to reform it. We need some kind of electoral reform to change our voting system so that no one party, whether it's the Greens, the Liberals, the NDP, or the Conservatives, can control 100% of the power in our government with 39% of the vote. That's just undemocratic and unfair.
Also on the ballot, Rod Taylor, who was chosen last November as the leader of the Christian Heritage Party.
Have you heard about the Christian Heritage Party?
Yes, I heard like the signs and all
right,
that.
Yeah. So we're basically pro-life, pro-family, smaller government, freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
It's like the Conservatives.
Yeah, well, except that they really don't have a pro-life policy, the Conservatives, right? And,
Taylor actually lives in northern BC, but decided to run here after John Baird's resignation sparked a by-election that's now been superseded by the general election. It's a no-frills campaign, signs put together in a friend's garage, then stored in a trailer parked in the driveway.
Are there any houses on this stretch?
His out-of-town helpers set up their mobile office in a nearby Tim Hortons. Pro-life / anti-abortion, anti-gay marriage. Do you think that resonates in an urban kind of community like this?
Well, it resonates more in some areas than others. But, everyone in Canada has two things in common. All of us, every single Canadian was born. All those that are going to be voting on October 19th had the privilege of being born. Their mother carried them to term. And every single Canadian has a father and a mother, came from the union of one man and one woman. We think it's built into us that is a foundational unit, family, and strong families make a strong nation.
I'm sure you'd admit you're a long shot to win here. What is your goal?
Well, I'm running to win in this riding. And, David and Goliath, I kind of use that picture often in describing our situation. David was a long shot, but he did win. We do believe in miracles. We believe that we're here for a purpose, and that in God's timing, all things are possible, even winning the election.
Hi, Avery. Very nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Jen.
At a debate for students at Algonquin College, all candidates show up except for the Conservative. The other two main contenders clash over C-51, the government's anti-terrorism bill, and over who's poaching the most defectors.
And I'm also very proud that I do have people who call themselves proud NDPers, proud Conservatives, proud Green Party members who are on my team, because I want to reach out across the aisle.
We have a lot of disaffected Liberals working on our campaign. They are people who felt utterly betrayed by the Liberal support of Bill C-51. They cut up their Liberal membership cards and they took out NDP membership cards.
We were very, very clear on Bill C-51 that we put forward amendments. As soon as we form a government, we are going to amend that bill. We are going to repeal the unconstitutional and egregious elements of that bill.
The Liberals stood with Mr. Harper on this bill. This distinguishes us fundamentally from the Liberals, and progressive people need to get behind the party that is truly progressive.
But the toughest shot, targeting the absent Abdi.
And I would just quickly say, again, being present in your riding is the most important thing. There's one candidate here who's conspicuous by his absence, is not even bothering to show up to the debate and be present.
It's an issue, too, at that retirement home because Abdi also skipped a debate sponsored by a Muslim group.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know why you did not attend some of the all-candidates meetings, the debates.
Okay, so the question is the following. We run a campaign throughout the year. Our schedules are very, very busy. Not every candidate can attend every debate. And I can tell you that I've attended several debates. I've attended this Rogers debate. I've attended the CFRA debate. I attended the all candidates debate that was organized by 9 community associations that just took place in Centrepoint. I've met my opponent on several community events where we had meets and greets and dialogues and discussions. So you cannot, as a candidate running in this election, accommodate every possible debate. And that's the reason why I was not able to attend some of these debates.
Abdi's campaign signs plug his job as a police officer to capitalize on concerns about crime, and it's a message used to try to energize the Conservative base.
Good morning. My name is Bethany. I'm calling on behalf of Abdul Abdi. He's taken a leave of absence from his job as a local police officer to be our candidate for the Conservative Party in the upcoming elections. I'm calling today to see if Abdul can count on your support.
Still hoping to win, Abdi says forget those polls that say otherwise.
And those are the polls, right? My polls at the doors. My policy is no door left behind. And that's the important thing here. I'm going to be knocking doors until the last second of this election to ensure that we reach as many people as we can from this riding. And they're the ones who are going to determine the outcome of that. It's not going to be polls. You know, and you've been in this business for many years, that many times polls said one thing, the results were the opposite.
We were out here in February when it was freezing cold.
Yet there's change in the air here, and it's not just the seasons. It seems the political winds are shifting too.
Thank you.
Doing that too. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're running.
Thank you.
I voted for Baird last time, but I'm not voting for him this time.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
If everything stays pretty much steady as it is today, I would think it should be a fairly easy win for the Liberal candidate. Mr. Abdi will be a solid second, I would suspect. And Marlene Riviere, because of her late start and the fact that the NDP campaign has faltered really down the stretch, is going to do well to match the 20% she got in the last election.
With a few days to go, barring any late crashes, Anita Vandenveld, with her Liberal red car, is in the driver's seat. For CPAC, I'm Roger Smith in Ottawa West, Nepean.